So, you've seen the thumbnail. This is your spoiler warning, and also your fair warning that this movie directly deals with sexual assault. So, you've been warned.
What movie did we watch?
Promising Young Woman.
What did you think it was going to be about?
I thought she was gonna murder some people.
Okay.
And
Did you see trailers?
I did see trailers. And I'd wanted to watch it, and you were like, ooh. I almost said Bob Burnham. Bo Burnham.
Yeah. But yeah, I
And-
really love Bo.
Yeah, I mean, I knew
And
it
that
for-
actress, Carey Mulligan. That's her name.
Yeah, I want to know how old she is.
We will look it up. Or I'll put it up.
But I want to know.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to be about, but yeah, I thought maybe
And I knew
was
she was
gonna
gonna pretend to
murder
be.
people.
She was gonna pretend to be drunk until guys tried to rape her, and then she was gonna murder them.
But
But she didn't.
she doesn't murder anybody.
She doesn't murder anybody.
Yeah. Weird.
Weird.
Well, actually, what's interesting is that we don't know if she murdered anybody. Because in her notebook, she had different colored names.
Oh.
So I was thinking maybe reds were murders.
And they
And there was
left
blues,
some
blacks.
gross implications, like with Adam Brody when she left him.
Yeah.
She was eating that jelly donut and was
Oh yeah, and there's
bloody.
lots of blood. Very okay. So the art direction and cinematography in this movie were very good. I thought.
Yeah, it was very pretty to watch.
Yeah, and the jelly donut implications, blood.
Yeah,
down
she looked
her.
like she was bloody, rough
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, very good. The aesthetic of the movie. There you go.
Yeah, I liked it.
So, did you think this movie was a feminist movie?
I didn't think about it. I didn't.
It was like,
They didn't,
yeah, get back at these boys that are always trying to take advantage of drunk women all the
Yeah,
time.
they did talk about feminism. You know, when she was talking with that girl with the brown hair.
Alison Brie.
Oh yeah, her. Right? Did they talk about feminism? in their city?
I don't remember. Maybe very briefly, isn't that what girls do, or something? Are you
Yeah,
supposed to,
or they were talking about how boys really like feminists in college.
Oh yeah, that was but that had not to do with. I'm talking about the whole movie,
Yeah.
getting back at the boys. It wasn't really
I was thinking about the Bechdel test, and I was like, oh, this passes the Bechdel test.
where women talk for more than
Two named women
talking about not
talk
men.
together about something other than men.
Yeah, does pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about that with all the Marvel movies too. So I was like, did any of these pass it?
Very
Very,
little.
very few.
Probably Captain Marvel and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy dark comedies?
Yeah, I think so.
I loved this movie. It was so funny.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked their humor.
So there was a lot of funny stuff that was haha, is this funny? Haha.
Or is it just uncomfortable?
Is it uncomfortable? But then there was the actual uncomfortable moments where she would make people feel uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and in doing that, make the audience uncomfortable. Like the scene with the dean, where she just sits
Mhm.
there while the dean freaks out about her daughter possibly getting raped by a bunch of guys
And some
or
of the
taken advantage of or whatever.
the dark humor of we're laughing at this thing, but it's also very real. That with the thing with the dean was
Oh yeah.
that would not be completely out of line for that to have happened.
And the people that she was getting back at were the lawyer
Mhm.
group, the law firm, the dean, the actual guys,
Mm-hmm. The girls who didn't help.
and the girls who didn't help.
Yeah.
And Alison Brie's character said some really uncomfortable things, when you drink that much and you do this and you do that, all this victim blaming.
Yeah. It was all this the stereotypical things that people
Yeah.
say, and calls it out a lot, which I liked.
It was ugh. I also liked how not a lot of movies do this, but they didn't tell us everything that happened.
No, because there were times where I was curious to know more information.
We assume that Nina killed herself.
Yeah. And we never actually saw what she looked like other
Yep.
than a kid. And yeah, it made a lot of interesting decisions where
I love when movies don't baby the audience like that and don't feel the need to explain
Mhm.
everything. And I love movies like this. And she has like the little hair, the scrunchie that she wears around her wrist and around the diary.
Yeah, where it's like, why is she with that
Yeah,
scrunchie?
doesn't explain it ever. It's wonderful. I love when movies do stuff like that.
And I think it's just interesting to make the choice to like not show big events on the screen. Like it, a lot of the movie was people having conversations and them talking about things that happened. So it's like, yeah, we never saw the scene.
Yeah.
Like they just looked at the phone and we heard it, but like we didn't see it. And so I don't know, leaving things up to the imagination in that way I think is cool. And then it made like that the scene where he smothers her really significant because it is like, oh, we are seeing one of the really bad things that happened, and yikes.
So, Bo Burnham, I love.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was very excited to see this movie. And his character, I like from the beginning, I was like, something bad's gonna happen. Because it was like a dark movie.
Yeah, and all boys are bad. That's what I learned from that movie.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like all these, the guys who are like, I'm a nice guy.
It's like, yeah, but what were you trying to do to me 10 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Which I think is just like human nature. Like maybe you're a nice person, but like, what will you do if you think you can get away with it?
Yeah. And all of the adults now are saying, oh, we were kids, like at that college party.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse.
Yeah. There was a lot of like people who showed up in the movie who were really cool. Like
Yeah.
I like Bo, the Carey Mulligan.
There's
great, though.
the guy from New Girl.
Yeah,
Schmidt.
he was the best man.
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody, Christopher Mintz or whatever is the guy from Superbad, who was the second nice guy who she was like, you just tried to finger me a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was like going on about his book. So like it was cool that all these guys showed up. And the mother and the father I know from like various
yeah,
things.
the mom is in Legally Blonde.
And the father's like in a lot of like weird stuff, especially because of his voice. He's a very good voice actor. I hear that voice and I know him right away.
I also really liked the decisions they made with her clothing. Because
I didn't pay attention.
Oh, I paid attention. But they did like there was when she was like trying to get people to rape her, there was like that whole set of outfits, but then there was also like her regular life outfits were so interesting because she wore a lot of like braids and ribbons in her hair, which I feel like is very kind of like little girly, and wore a lot of like flowy, very like modest dresses. And so it's interesting because it was like her conversation with her friend is like, boys want a good girl. And it was like, that was very, like, her getup was like so different as a regular person than when she was like trying to be attractive to these weird men. And
we sort of get one scene that shows us her like split personality, which is when she gets out of the car and like smashes that truck, and then she like takes a breath after that happens and is like, what just, she like shakes her head or something.
yes,
And she's like, what
did
just
I
happened?
do?
Yeah,
Like,
she was like, what just happened? And then gets
mhm.
back in the car. And of course, she's like super smart, so all of her plans she always has backups for, and like, and she wants to give people second chances the whole movie to like.
Well, because I think she feels, and this is another thing that they didn't really explain to us, is like she, I think, feels guilty for what happened to Nina. Because she says, like, she didn't go with her or whatever, and
We don't know what that means.
we don't really know what that means, but I think she's trying to make up for it and, like, wants other people to also want to make up for it.
Okay. But so she gives everyone a second chance, but if, like we saw with the lawyer, but if they don't show remorse, then she punishes them, pretty much. Yeah.
Shows them, not even, like, punishes them, but also, like, punishes them in a way that they do show remorse and they figure out what they did was wrong. It was almost like, okay, I'm giving you a chance. Do you know what you did was wrong?
Yeah.
And they're like her friend, where her friend was like, no, it was fine. Like, we were kids. And then she put her in the same situation where she didn't know what had happened. And
yeah,
it like really messed with her, where she was like, oh, I understand why what I did was bad.
And we don't find out until later in the movie that she actually didn't pay that guy to rape her.
Yeah.
So
She like actually didn't do the bad things, but she did the bad things enough that people thought were like, oh.
yeah.
I want to know what that bald guy was going to do, the little lawyer.
Yeah. Did you like the end of the movie?
I did. I didn't expect it. I think throughout the movie, I was like, she's putting herself in a lot of scary situations where it's like you're counting on you suddenly like being sober being enough to stop these men from still doing something creepy. Counting on that shock being enough to get you out of those situations. But I was like nervous for her the whole time, you know, like nervous for her at all.
Yeah, but who knows if she was like killing some of them too.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there was a certain point where I was like, ooh, I know something bad is going to happen. And when she was alone in the room with Al.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. One of the things I noticed is that they like cut out any music or anything. It was like just them.
Yeah, and it was either she was going to carve blood into him or kill him.
Carve
Nina's name into him. But then he gets free and he's a man, so he's stronger than her.
Mm-hmm.
And he kills her. But I think she wanted that for a long time. Like, her actions did not show that she cared about herself, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that she didn't care about her life that much at a certain point, you know, that it was like, it was worth it because it was going to mess up his life so bad.
Yeah.
She sort of used her life, you know, she like led all this evidence to him having murdered her and was like, kind of gave him that chance. Because I think in the moment, like, if he had been like, oh, yeah, like, I am super sorry about that. Like, it crushes me, blah, blah, whatever. I don't think she would have done what she did. I don't know. But I think he also had a chance for a second chance, but didn't take it, so.
Very good ending with the texting and the...
Oh, so clever.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh, how do you think of all that stuff?
Well, when you're, like, a med student, you probably are smart.
Yeah, I guess.
So was it worth $6?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, totally.
I had wanted to rent it before and it was $20 and I was like, I don't know if it's worth that, but it being $6.
Would you have watched it for $20?
Now knowing
how good it is,
yes. Yeah, it was worth it. But not knowing how good it was.
Well, like movie tickets are like 15 and 15. It would have been like $30 for us to go.
Yeah.
And we got to see it for $6, so I think it's worth it.
I think so too. That was good.
Any other thoughts?
Oh, I liked the music. The music was very good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. They did a lot of like, just like, there were a lot of fun remixes of songs and stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah.
And there was like Raining Men at the beginning and it was fun. I think that's all.
Good job.